This is the word of the Lord from June 15th, 2026. How easy is it for you to follow my commands? When I say to say something, do you say it? When I say go there, will you go? When I say to stay home, do you stay at home? When I say leave this place, will you leave that place? For in hearing me, how often do you then obey me? There are some who listen as I'm speaking, but they are listening to my words and listening to their words and listening to the enemy's words. And they are listening to too many voices. In Hebrew, the words that describe listening means to hear the sound and try to understand the message. However, in ancient Hebrew, they did not have a separate word for obey. Therefore, to hear fundamentally meant to pay close attention and act on what you heard. So listening means you are receiving the sound and you hear words, and you may try to interpret the message. Yet you do not have to do anything with just listening. There is no expectation when you are just listening. Yet when you follow God's way and his intended method of communication, you are hearing him speak to you and obeying. And there is no separation of the two. The expectation is that you hear and then do. You don't hear and then proceed to do whatever you intended to do. Meaning there are many who have the capacity to listen to many different voices, but do not have the capacity to hear God and obey him. They listen with no response, and they hear but do not obey. They have ears so can listen, but they do not have the spiritual capacity of hearing and obeying as God has commanded them. And that is because they have not learned that listening is the first step and truly hearing is the second step. You listen to the word and then hear and obey it. You must listen with intention to comprehend, then truly hear and obey. There's too many who stop after listening to the word and do not truly hear it and obey it. They then move on because they are too distracted with many other things to truly stop and hear what God is saying to them. And this will continue in these days. There will be many listening, but not hearing and obeying. But we must learn how to truly hear the Lord and to hear what he is saying. For his words are the words of life, and his guidance and direction are the steps we need to survive. We need to say what he says and go where he says to go and do what he says to do. And this can only come about when we truly hear and obey the words of the Lord. Amen.